Namaste, Namaskara, Vanakkam. Hello and welcome to 3TV Chitram for the episode in English. It's me, your Pratap. The first Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, was touched by his movies. His journey from Karnataka to Kolkata was dwarfed by his sojourn from Bhawanipur to Bombay. More notably, his transformation from being a chorus dancer into a brilliant film director was applauded by the industry in chorus. But it was short-lived. Fikar kal ki kare, itni fursat kahan? Yes, in his short span of life, he could not even think of tomorrow. Guru Dutt, choreographer, writer, director and producer, one of the brilliant filmmakers of India. Guru Dutt, an epitome of melancholy and acme of brilliance from Bollywood, was not from Hindi heartland. Nor he knew fluent Urdu, nor was he a Bengali as his brought up made him to be. He was a Konkan, born at Panambur area of Mangalore to the parents who moved from Karwar to Mangalore. At birth, he was named Vasant Kumar Shivshankar Padukone. But after an accident in the childhood, his name was changed to Gurudatta Padukone because that name was believed to be auspicious. His auspicious name did not change the vicissitudes of his life, but it is etched in the hearts of cinefans across the world, and it left an indelible imprint in the annals of Indian film history. His journey was dramatic, his rise was meteoric, his life was melancholic, and his end was tragic. Before we dwell into those details, let us quickly look at the turn of events in his life. As a nascent child, he moved to Bhawanipur and then as an adult to Pune via Bombay and then back to Bombay forever. Neither the change of place nor the change of name helped him in any way. His family's finances troubled him. Death of his younger brother traumatized him. He became an introvert, but his eyes were full of lurking dreams. Although his mother and himself did their matriculation together, after that he was compelled to opt out to look for a job of telephone operator. But he loved fine arts. So, one of the paintings of his uncle, also an uncle of Shyam Benegal, Balakrishna B. Benegal, inspired him so much, he made a snake dance impromptu. This impressed his uncle Bibi Benegal. Mr. Benegal admitted him in the dance school of Uday Shankar in 1942 at Almora. But because the war clouds gathering that time and the lack of funds, the school was closed in 1944. Of course, some allege that because of his involvement with the leading lady of the troupe, he was shown the doors. Balakrishna B. Benegal took him to Baburao Pai of Prabhat Studios at Pune, the studios which V. Shantaram has just left. Gurudatt joined them as an assistant choreographer. There he has met two aspiring young actors, Rahman, Dev, Anand. The latter by sheer chance of exchange of their shirts by their dhobi. They remained friends for life. Gurudatt did a minor role, Lakshman, in Vishram Bedekar's 1945 film, Lakrani. In 1946, he not only composed the dance sequences but also assisted director P.L. Santoshi for his movie Hum Ek Hai, which was a debut movie of Dev Anand. In 1947, when his contract came to an end with the Prabhat Studios, his mother Vasanti somehow managed to get him a job of freelance assistant to the CEO of the studio, Mr. Baburao Pai. But he lost that job also, allegedly because he became close to one of the assistant dancer there, Vidya. For 10 months, he went on writing short stories in English, and they were published in the Illustrated Weekly of India those days. In 1951, he got a break as director by his friend Dev Anand, as they had an understanding in their days at Prabhat Studios earlier. His childhood passion of light and shadow also reflected in his movies. He made 8 films, which include Pyaasa, Thirst, that was included in the 100 best films of the world by the Times magazine. Richard Schickel, a film critic, once wrote that his movies seamlessly blended the grit of Italian neorealism with the sweeping American melodrama, inspiringly in musicals to have wider popularity. There were too many ironies in his life. The filmmaker who dropped out after his matriculation was included in the curriculum in 11 universities across the world. His film, which did not run even for 7 days, was included in the list of all-time great films, and also in the British magazine Sight and Sound's top film survey of 2002. The man who could not act in real life was included by CNN in the top 25 Asian actors ever in 2010. The heroine, who was considered to be box office poisoning in 1954, became a household name in 1955 because of his film Mr. and Mrs. 55, and the dancers from a Telugu film Rojulu Marai. Her days were changed once for all when he introduced her into Hindi film land by his film CID. Though he could not change her name, he changed her life forever. So was his life. Even it was changed forever. When his film R Par became a smashing hit, a distributor came forward to finance his 3 future films even before they were conceptualized. But the director in Guru Dutt could not take it. He declined it. He never envisaged that his film would be ever a failure. But that is what happened when Kagaz ke Phool released. With that failure, he has quit directing the movies. His alleged failures of love and marriage were true or not, he remained a perpetual disappointed lover with his insatiable thirst, Pyaasa, remaining unquenched. His paperwork bloomed into so many immortal movies, but his longing for vibrant, fragrant flowers of love, he was handed over pitiless, thorny paper flowers, Kagaz ke Phool. The poet of Pyaasa and the director of Kagaz ke Phool, they very much carry the characteristics of Guru Dutt of real life. None of them cared for materialistic wealth. In fact, the poet of Pyaasa abhors, ye mahale, ye takte, ye tajon ki duniya. This world of palaces, thrones and crowns. ये दुनिया अगर मिल भी जाए तो क्या है? What is this world? Even if I get it. हम गम ज़्यादा है लाए कहाँ से खुशी की गीत. Although he says he is full of sorrow, from where he can bring the songs of happiness? His sweetest songs from the movies were of saddest thoughts. They reflected his sojourn, the series of his disappointments in love and life, and the sorrowful end of his sordid saga. Guru Dutt had a very good team. Abrar Alvi, his writer, was his alter ego, and V.K. Murthy, his cinematographer, was his inner eye. Guru Dutt hardly spoke, but they could still understand what exactly he wants. Unfortunately, the loving woman in his life could not do so. Even his lyric writers, be it Majru Sultanpuri, Sahib Ludhianvi or Kaifi Azmi, they could reflect and mirror the emotions and feelings of Guru Dutt in appropriate and sonorous stanzas. न जाओ सैया चुड़ा के भैया कसम तुम्हारे रो पड़ूंगी. In this anger, please don't go away. Don't let my tears sway. These lines reflect the exact state of mind of Guru Dutt's wife, Geeta Dutt, that time, and also the alcoholic Meena Kumari. But it did not happen the same way in another song she sang, तुम्हारे चरणों में आ चुकी हूँ, यही जीऊंगी, यही मरूंगी. I came to your feet, I shall live here and I shall die here. No, she didn't, but he did. When Guru Dutt shot Pyaasa in Kolkata, he met a Gujarati girl in the red light area. Her name was Gulabo. She eloped with her lover from Gujarat and landed in Kolkata. Her lover had betrayed her. She was condemned to be a prostitute. After listening to her pathetic story, Guru Dutt has retained that name Gulabo in his film Pyaasa, and the poet in the movie laments about her fate. Listen to these lines. ये पुरपेच गलियाँ, ये बदनाम बाजार, ये सिक्कों का झंकार, ये इस्मत पे सौदे, ये सौदे पे तकरार, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पे, वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है. These dirty streets, these ill-reputed marketplaces, the jingle of these coins, these deals of love, these disputes about those deals, where are they who are proud of this country? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? It was told, listening to this song, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru bursted into tears. Who will not? The artist in Guru Dutt longed for flowers, but he got only thorns.
हमने तो जब कलियां मांगी कांटों का हार मिला.
हमने तो जब कलियां मांगी कांटों का हार मिला. If this is life, let me live like this, not raising even a whisper, drinking my own tears. इसको ही जीना कहते हैं तो यूं ही जी लेंगे, हुफ ना करेंगे, लपसी लेंगे, आंसू पी लेंगे. But this world, an enemy of humanity, ये इंसान के दुश्मन समाजों की दुनिया, will not allow him to live. Time has done him a great injustice.
वक्त ने किया क्या हंसी सितम, तुम रहे न तुम, हम रहे न हम.
Nobody remained what they used to be. All were lost. Like from his song, from his own film Bazi, he could not change his failed planned fate by gambling on his own ability. All his companions, his wife, his lady love, they all left him for their own valid reasons. Unlike in his film Pyaasa, where Gulabo runs down 2 floors after identifying the poet and expresses her concern for his well-being after 35 retakes, she could not do it in her real life. बिछड़ गया, बिछड़ गया, बिछड़ गया हर साथी, फल दो फल का साथ. Even his shadow was apathetic towards him. हमको अपना साया तक अक्सर बेजार मिला. In fact, no one has any time or inclination to hold his hand and save him. किसको फुर्सत है जो तामे दीवानन का हाथ. Rahman means gracious and merciful. Not all Rahmans in his life were merciful and gracious. One's friendship lasted his lifetime. For another, he lost his life. On that fateful night of October 9th, 1964, he had discussed the script of Bahare Fir Bhi Aayengi, The Springs Will Return, with his writer Abrar Alvi, along with his assistant Ratan, in his house Arclight in Pedder Road at Bombay. But he was a troubled man, trying to drown himself in alcohol. That night he also spoke to Raj Kapoor, praising his ability to reach his movies to the masses. He has also invited him home, but it was too late that night. Raj Kapoor promised him to meet the next day. Later he called Asha Bhonsle to inquire about the whereabouts of his estranged wife Geeta Dutt. He also called Geeta Dutt, requesting her to send their daughter, to whom he was very much attached to him that night, threatening her lest she would see his dead body. Those threats were perhaps dismissed as a drunkard's mumblings by his otherwise loving wife. The springs never returned. The arc light went off forever. What happened behind those closed doors of his bedroom, nobody knew. In this world where every body is wounded and everybody is thirsty, हर एक जिस्म घायल, हर एक रूह प्यासी, where death is cheaper than life, जहाँ जीवन से है मौत सस्ती. The next morning, when those doors were broke open, Mr. Guru Dutt was found dead. There was a bottle of alcohol and a pink syrup of overdose of sleeping pills were found by his bedside. But it was never made conclusively clear whether he died by accident of consumption of overdose of sleeping pills or he committed suicide. जला दो, फूंक डालो ये दुनिया. Burn it, consign the world to the flames. But the world was not consigned to the flames. Alas, he himself was.
रहने को सदा दहर में आता नहीं कोई, तुम जैसे गए ऐसे भी जाता नहीं कोई. एक बार तो खुद मौत भी घबरा गई होगी, यूं मौत को सीने से लगाता नहीं कोई.